Today I am going to be working on my bullet journal for the month of December. I already have it outlined, so I'm just going to be going through and filling it out, and then I'll tell you what each page is. So we are starting off with my first page, which is the cover page, and this one, I had this idea to do a deer illustration, and I'm going to show you up close of what the illustration looks like. I did this illustration on my iPad last year, and I just haven't really done anything with it, but this is a perfect use. I printed the picture out on just basic sticker paper in a normal printer, and now I am making the outline that I'm going to cut it out. I already have all of my designs sketched out, and I'm going to take my scissors and cut the circle out, and then I'm going to be placing this deer illustration on the page underneath. It shows through, and it has like a different effect than it would have if I just placed it right on top of the page. But this illustration is about 3 inches wide. I'm leaving a border just in case I make a mistake. And now that I have it cut out, you can see I am positioning it in a way that makes sense. I do have some rough corners, but that's okay. This journal is just for me, so I'm not trying to make it perfect because I don't have all the tools with me to do so. And now, because I don't love the way the outline looks, I didn't cut it out perfectly. I'm going to go in with a black marker and just try to clean it up some more, maybe hide a little bit of the mistakes that I made and cutting it out. And I think adding the outline will just help with the overall design, make it look a lot more cohesive. But before I fill that in, I'm going to start the outline of the type I chose, and I'm just doing the title month, so December, and taking my time doing this hand lettering because this is one of my favorite parts of bullet journaling and just creating in general. I love lettering stuff in, so I want this one to be as nice as I can make it. And I am using my Micron pens, my black, they are black archival ink pens, and when they dry, they do not smear, they don't bleed through to the next page. Like, these are some of my favorite pens to use, and I will have them linked below in the description because I think these pens are perfect for bullet journaling, especially if you do a lot of fine detailing or hand lettering like I do. It's great to have a variety of options in what you're able to use. So I'm just going to be working on the outline for the snow globe as well. I decided that I'm going to add these little like flourishes and leaf details, and I want to try to have that consistent through more of the pages just so there's a semblance of a theme. I think my theme is just like winter and like blue and white and just winter type of stuff. So less Christmassy, like red and green, and more just generic winter. And now we are going to be moving into the page next to it. I decided not to make my title spread a full page, like a full double spread. I kept it to the right of the journal so that I would have room for a full-length calendar. because last month I only did like a tiny mini one and I missed being able to write stuff in. So I did this ahead of time, so I was able to figure out the math ahead of time in terms of like the length I wanted for each month, and I did mess up. So you will see I messed up. I started covering it up with markers because I was not supposed to color in. I was not supposed to outline all of these lines down here. I wanted to leave it open for notes, but you know, when you're in the zone and you make mistakes, it's totally fine. You can just do something else. So now I'm making a quilt design to cover up my mistake, and also it's just gonna add a little something to this page because initially it was going to be very, very plain. This is my first time doing a this is my first time doing a quilt pattern, so I'm not gonna be perfect at it. But I chose my Arteza brush markers to color it in, and I have my Jelly Roll white pen on top of it just to give it some texture and line work. And then I'm just gonna move ahead to the next page. So once you flip it to the next page, this is going to be my goals list for the month. I try to do this every month in some sort of fashion, just so I know like what I want to be working towards. And once I see this page, it'll remind me whenever I see it on things that I should try to accomplish that month or things that I should try to check off. So this one is a mixture of both a bucket list and a goals list. December is the last month of the year, and I want to make sure that I'm checking off at least a few of my goals from 2025. So it's basically gonna be a rehash of all the other goals I've had the rest of the year, just seeing what I still need to work on and what I can reasonably try to achieve by the end of the year before 2026. So I filled this in with ornaments. I thought that would be a great way to fill in this awkward space. And then next to this page, I decided not to waste this page. I don't like wasting space in my journals. So I am turning this into a December overview page. So that way I will look at my goals list more often. And with my overview page, it's going to have things that I want to do that aren't on my bucket list, things that I want to read, things that I want to watch. And it's going to have a space for things I want to prioritize this month. So my top goals, I'm going to distill them into this first little box here. And something that I am doing differently this month, I decided that I don't want to outline my trackers anymore, and I'm going to make it easier on myself and make it more likely for me to continue doing this by printing out my trackers and sticking them inside my journal. That feels a bit like cheating because it's not as aesthetic as if I did it by hand, but it saves me so much time and it makes it much more likely for me to actually continue with this practice because I'm not like dreading an aspect of it that I don't like. So I'm giving you permission, if you don't like doing certain stuff in your journal, it is okay to take shortcuts or to do the lazy way out. Like, it's totally okay to print stuff out instead of drawing it yourself. So yeah, I got these from Canva. Canva has a lot of amazing templates that you can just print out and paste into your journal. And now I don't know what page we're on, but what page number, but I've been doing this new thing in my journals recently where I track things that I'm grateful for and I track my daily wins. I got this idea from a doctor on here. His name is Dr. Scott Eilers, and he talks about writing down like stuff that you're grateful for and writing down your achievements every day so that you have a catalog of wins for yourself to look over, and that can help you build self-trust, that can help you build confidence, and just help you in getting towards the goals you want, and also with your mental health. Those are things that I'm valuing and working on. So I'm doing a very, very, very basic spread just with some lights, some cute little lights, and it's saying, today I'm grateful for on one side, and I'm going to number that all the way down 1 through 31 and just write something every day. And on the opposite page, I'll do my daily wins, and I'll write down 1 through 31 and write down at least one thing that I felt like I accomplished that day. It can be something as I got out of bed at the time I wanted to. It could be like I did a workout. It could be I read in my book. It doesn't have to be something major. It can just be as simple as you want it to be. And I'm using my Crayola Super Tips to work on this page because and lastly, the last spread I'm going to be showing you is how I do my weekly planner setup. One thing about bullet journaling that I love is that I'm able to fully customize it to how my brain works and how I like to use planners, because most of them do not run the way that I would actually like to use them. And I set my journals up starting on a Monday. I gave myself a full length of the journal for Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday get a little blurb on the weekend. And I'll show you, you'll see it in detail. And I start my journal, I have like a time block planner spread, similar to like how you have it in Google Calendar or Apple Calendar, where you can just place in blocks of time for you to do stuff. And then I give myself space at the top for my top 3 priorities every day. And speaking of time, I start my journal at 6 a.m. and end it at 10 p.m. So you'll see me writing out 6 through 10. I give myself space for the half increments as well. So it's really, I have a space in between every number to account for the half-hour time slots. And this might be a bit overkill for some people, but I like working in this way, and I like having the option of planning stuff by hour. Great thing about bullet journaling, you can do what works for you. And the last spread that I do every month, I do a reflection spread where I write down all the books I read, I write down the movies I watched. You really don't need to do this. You can just check them off on your overview, but I like having separate pages because I have the space for it. So I write down things that I've learned, practiced, or improved, and my biggest wins and accomplishments. And something I'm doing differently this month, I saw someone do a letter as like one of their journal spreads, and I thought it was so cool. So I'm gonna try it out for myself and just write myself an end of the year letter here, because December is the last month of the year. So in my reflection, I want it to be like a cute little note to self. And that is the end of my journal walkthrough. So I will do a quick little flip through for you. And hopefully you got something out of this that can help you in your journal setup. And I will see you in my next month's video.